What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cage Side Connor. I am Connor. This video is going to serve as my UFC 317 post show. We're going to go over everything that happened at UFC 317. We're also going to give some predictions on fights I think will be made next, considering the results of UFC 317. And yeah, what a card it was just off the top. Probably UFC's best pay-per-view of the year thus far. I'd probably have to look a little bit deeper into that, but yeah, it was up there. It was that good. We got a knockout of the year contender in the main event. We got a fight of the year contender in Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval, and of course Alejandro Pantoja, not Alexander. Did his thing, looked dominant, and it had some good fights to round out the main card. And the prelims were pretty fucking epic. Pretty fucking epic, if I do say so myself. Sorry, guys. Make sure if you are not subscribed to subscribe to the channel so I can keep making these videos. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. So yeah, subscribe. Leave in the comments if there's anything you want me to improve on, anything you don't like about the look of the videos, etc. I'll be more than happy to hear them out. So all right, guys, let's get into it. Of course, in your main event, then Ilia Topuria defeated Charles do Bronx Oliveira by KO round one. It happened, guys. It happened. I feel like we all kind of knew it was coming with Charles, and yeah, it was a painful one to watch if you're a Charles fan, not gonna lie. But Ilia Topuria, of course, proving that he is the superstar of the UFC right now. He is the best thing going on in MMA at the moment with the way he finishes fights, his star power, everything he brings to the table. It's just yeah, man, it's awesome to see, but painful to see if you're a fan of the guys he's fighting, as I'm sure we all are in the case of Charles, Max Holloway, and Volkanovski. So yeah, he did the damn thing, man, and he looked great doing it. Was able to defend the takedown, almost got a crucifix. Then we ended up getting back to the feet, and you know, some pretty wild exchanges there. Charles hit him with a nice elbow at one point, but didn't matter because come about 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the first round, lands a sick combination, it drops him with the right hand, lands another left hook, and then a brutal follow-up shot when Charles is already on the ground, out cold. So yeah, man, congrats to Ilia Topuria. He looked great. He big things for this kid in the future. And as for what's next for Ilia Topuria, I mean, I think it's pretty simple to see where the UFC is going to go with this. It's none other than Paddy Pimblett. I think Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett will potentially be the biggest fight of the year if they're able to get it in on this calendar year. And I kind of think the UFC would be stupid not to just make this fight right now. Paddy Pimblett coming off that win over Michael Chandler from earlier this year. Ilia Topuria, obviously the newly crowned lightweight king. Does Paddy deserve this fight? No. He doesn't deserve a title shot. Not quite yet. He definitely needs one more, and I would prefer him to get that one more over Justin Gaethje, over an Arman Tsarukyan. But I just don't. I think the UFC would be stupid not to make it right now because it's available, for one thing, right? Ilia Topuria said he'd be ready to go by the end of the year. Paddy Pimblett would be ready to go by the end of the year. There's no reason why you couldn't make this fight for the final pay-per-view of the year in December in Vegas. I think it suits well there just fine. And yeah, it's just the only hiccup is Paddy doesn't quite deserve it yet. You know, he needs that one more win, and I would prefer that he get it, but that's just not what they're gonna do here. You know, you're gonna waste an opportunity if you make Paddy fight someone else. Yes, it could be bigger if Paddy did beat a Justin Gaethje or an Arman Tsarukyan, but if he loses, then it just crumbles to dust, right? So you gotta make it. You gotta strike while the iron's hot. You gotta just make it now. An undeserved title shot for Paddy Pimblett, but it'll end up being a big fight. And I think with the guys that are kind of being left out here, being Arman Tsarukyan and Justin Gaethje, you don't feel too bad for them, right? Arman kind of had his shot back in January against Islam. He pulled out before that. Granted, he was injured, so not necessarily his fault, but and then Justin Gaethje kind of needs another win, you know, just one decision win over Rafael Fiziev doesn't quite get you there yet in today's day of UFC lightweights. So I would like to see really all of them need one more, which is why Paddy can kind of just slip right in there, right? For other fights to make in the lightweight division, then why not just make Armin Tsarukyan versus Justin Gaethje, put it on that Abu Dhabi card or whatever, and then we'll have a clear kind of #1 contender for the winner of Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett, if that's what Ilia wants to do. That is one thing that worries me about Ilia Topuria, is he doesn't necessarily sound like the type of guy that wants to just rattle off a bunch of title defenses, you know, which is a shame because he's only 28. He's just now hitting his athletic prime. We could potentially have another 7 years of Ilia Topuria being in his athletic prime, which is just crazy to think about. But he seems more like the type of guy that wants to fight the biggest fights possible, and then he's going to dip out kind of early here. So I don't know. I don't know how long we'll have Ilia Topuria for, as long as he keeps winning, of course. You know, I could see a world where he fights Paddy and then fights Islam, whether Islam wins or lose against JDM, and then he just dips and then he retires and then he's like, peace, I'm out, I'm good. That wouldn't surprise me. That just kind of seems like what the type of guy Ilia Topuria is, but we'll see. Remains to be seen. The future very exciting though for Ilia Topuria and all things surrounding his title reign. Next fight then. Oh yeah, I also want to recommend this fight for Charles next. Charles Oliveira versus Dan Hooker. A fight we've never gotten. 2 UFC veterans at this point. And I think this would be a good bounce back fight for Dan Hooker as well, who's coming off a injury after that amazing fight against Mateus Gamrot from last year. He's saying he's going to be ready to go by the end of the year still, and I think Charles probably want to get one more in this year as well. I know he just got brutally knocked out, but I could also see this slipping in on like that December pay-per-view way towards the end of the year, 6 months from now. So give Charles plenty of time to recover here, and I just think it's a fantastic fight. You really can't go wrong with Charles Oliveira fights. He can fight pretty much anyone in the UFC lightweight rankings, and it'd be exciting, and I'd be there front row center, ready to tune in. But yeah, I think it's a great fight. Why not? It's a fun bounce back fight for both fighters. Your co-main event then was Alejandro Pantoja defeats Kai Kara-France via sub round 3. Yeah, dominant performance from Pantoja here. Another one. He's just racking off these title defenses now. Look good. Seemed to tire a little bit in the second round, but he kind of does that, right? Pantoja kind of always has like a second wind in all his 5-round fights, and it ends up getting the dub. Yeah, look great doing it. Just another very impressive title defense from Pantoja here. They made it very easy for me on what's next for Alejandro Pantoja, because let's go to the fight before this one then. Joshua Van defeats Brandon Royval via unanimous decision. And what a fight this one was, guys. Fight of the year contender here. Probably at the top of my list for fight of the year at the moment, I'd say, is Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. I mean, just the back and forth brawl. Brandon Royval threw how many strikes? Then he threw like 400 strikes or some shit in the duration of a 3-round fight. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, it was kind of the story of the output of Brandon Royval versus the power and the patience of Joshua Van. Joshua Van kind of just able to squeak out rounds in that fight just due to having the more significant shots, right? He was just able to put it on Royval with the power and with good counters and make it look like he was the one winning the fight, even though Royval was the one landing more shots. Van landed the better shots the entire fight, and that's what ended up winning him the fight. Very impressive performance for a 23-year-old kid. I mean, Jesus, like this kid. God, I wish he was a year younger, because that way he could get that John Jones record of the youngest ever to hold the UFC title. That would have been cool. But regardless, UFC did make this very easy on me, because the next fight will be Alejandro Pantoja versus Joshua Van. UFC made this very clear. Brought Joshua Van in the cage after Pantoja's win, had them do a little face-off, as you see here. Yeah, that's going to be a sick fight, man. I cannot wait to see this one. Can't wait to see how Joshua Van's going to handle this. I don't see it going super well for him. I think it's a bit too early to be getting this high step up in competition for Joshua Van. But I was saying the same thing before the Royval fight, right? I thought something similar would happen, where just the experience and the athleticism of Royval was going to be able to squeak out a decision against Joshua Van. But he proved me around there, so let's see if he can prove me around here. I'd imagine this fight will get on God, I'm throwing a lot of fights on that December pay-per-view, but that just makes sense there, you know? I could see maybe MSG as well, but I'd imagine, yeah, probably co-main in the December pay-per-view, Alejandro Pantoja versus Joshua Van. And be another very fun fight at flyweight. Remember the UFC was trying to get rid of flyweight guys? Crazy. Crazy. And now we just got a fight of the year contender out of them. They like saved the card pretty much. Insane. Next fight then, Benil Dariush defeated Renato Marcano via unanimous decision. Another really fun fight. Renato Marcano got a nasty right hand drop Benny in the first round, and then Dariush just gritty veteran performance immediately after that. I saw an interview with him saying that he won 14 minutes of that fight, and he's just really upset by that knockdown. Yeah, he pretty much did, because he would have dominated the whole thing if not for that knockdown. But good for him. His kicks look good. Takedowns look good. Got the takedowns when he needed. And an impressive bounce back for Dariush, because if you remember, Dariush has been out since December 2023, so very long time, almost 2 years. And he needed that one. He needed that one if he was going to continue. I know he's talking about retirement beforehand, so if he doesn't want to go out now, go out on top with a win, I'd recommend, see, here's that right hand again. Just nasty by Renato Moicano. But I would recommend next for Benil Dariush is Grant Dawson. I think it's a fun fight to make. I don't think Dariush is going to get someone. He would prefer someone higher ranked, someone more with a name, someone like a Justin Gaethje, someone like a Dustin Poirier, who of course is retiring now, but doesn't matter. Someone like a Max Holloway or a Charles rematch or something like that. I'm sure he would like all those things, but I don't think he's going to get it. I think he's going to end up getting someone like a Grant Dawson, someone ranked within that 10 to 15 range. Yeah, and I think Grant Dawson would be a good fight, good contest, good competition for Grant Dawson. And we'll see if Grant Dawson will be able to move up the ranks there, and if Benil Dariush even wants to continue fighting. Next fight then was Peyton Talbot defeating Felipe Lima via unanimous decision. Good for fucking Peyton Talbot here. I think a lot of us were kind of writing him off after that loss to Hani Barcelos from earlier this year, but he looked very good, very improved on his takedown defense. Obviously, it's kind of hard to compare Felipe Lima's takedowns to Hani Barcelos' takedowns. We don't know who's better there in the grappling realm or whatever. But Peyton Talbot, regardless, looked very impressive in this fight. Was able to get up from a lot of the takedowns, was able to kind of do his thing on the feet and win the rounds on the feet that way after defending the takedowns. So very good for him. Very happy to see him, because he was a very exciting prospect before the Hani Barcelos fight. And it's kind of fun to just have him right back in that spot now. I think he kind of doesn't lose too much now because of the loss from earlier this year to Ronnie Barcelos. That's why I'm suggesting Peyton Talbot versus Cody Garbrandt. Now, you're probably thinking like, Connor, why would you do this to Cody Garbrandt? we don't need to see Cody Garbrandt just get his lights put out anymore. I think one more time for the road, why not? Peyton Talbot versus Cody Garbrandt would be a fantastic fight. I think that's a fight you could put on a co-main with any fight night. Well, maybe not any fight night, of an Apex fight night. Let's say that. Shit, you can make this headline an Apex event. I don't care. But yeah, I think this would be a very fun fight, a stand-up affair for Peyton Talbot here, unless Cody Garbrandt want to whip out the wrestling, but I highly doubt it. And yeah, I think it's a proper step in the right direction for Peyton Talbot here. Old veteran like Cody Garbrandt now, favorable matchup for him. Kind of get him right back onto the hype train where he can just get more highlight reel knockouts and throw that on there. Good fight, good time. Some other fights I just want to give a shout out to. Shout out to RoboCop, brutally knocking out Jack Hermanson. I picked Jack Hermanson before that, and honestly, I thought he was looking good for the 3 minutes of the round before he gets brutally knocked out, and then shit, that's what happens. Shout out to RoboCop, look good. Terrence McKinney, awesome submission inside of a minute of first round. Again, that guy's just kill or be killed immediately right from the get-go. Great for him. And then what was this guy's name? God, what was it? Jacoby Smith. God, I almost said Dustin Jacoby. Jacoby Smith. Shout out to him getting a submission over Nico Price. Not as easy as I thought, as I bet he thought it was going to be, but still a win over a veteran like Nico Price. Always a good one to have in there, and can kind of show Jacoby Smith some some of the holes in his game when he goes back and looks at this fight, and hopefully he gets better from there. So still a very high prospect, I think. All right, let's rank the card now, guys. I'm gonna give UFC 317 for a first ever post-fight card rating an 8.5. I think it is a solid 8.5. I think this gives us a good kind of bar to set on like what's a great card, what's a good card. 8.5 going to be considered a high score for me. So I want to note that moving forward is like I doubt many UFC cards will even get in the 8. So this is a great card. It's probably my favorite card of the year thus far. So yeah, we're going to go with a nice solid 8.5 there for UFC 317. And I like to see how this continues throughout the year and then be able to kind of compare and contrast all the cards at the end of the year. And I think that'd be fun. It'd be a fun thing to do with some fun rankings and stuff like that. And that's going to do it for the video, guys. Please make sure to subscribe over at Cageside Connor if you like the videos. And yeah, leave in the comments what you thought of UFC 317. Leave in the comments who you'd like to see some of the fighters off the main event fight next. And I'll catch you in the next one, guys.